A quiet suburban neighborhood, home alone doing chores that the parents asked me to do, but it soon will become a nightmare. Welcome, dear viewers, to Break In Redux. Break In Redux is a Gary's Mod map, which is a remake of its original, which was originally a map entry in my horror themed mapping contest from 2021, and this was made by Alex Scott 20. Starting off, I love how the map has a main menu of its own with its own option menu. And then you can play this in multiplayer with friends, single player, and free play, which basically means you'll have access to the spawn menu, no clip, and all that. Right off the bat, I gotta say, I'm an absolute sucker for this type of atmosphere. Dim, warm lighting and that windy weather outside is the perfect combination. Anyway, we head down to see what needs to be done. The chores are basic tasks like cleaning, dishwashing, and laundry. As soon as I started to play this, I immediately felt paranoid. Maybe it was the effect of the visuals and it just felt scary naturally. But then, now I was panicking, so in a panic, I started to take out the trash to calm me down. When I went outside to throw it away, my heart started racing because I knew that thing was out there. I almost expected it to be standing inside at the window when I looked back. Thankfully, that wasn't the case. With all the chores done, a truck approached my house. I had to hide, and quick. I ran back to my room and hid in the closet. Now, the sound design is very well done and is important to surviving this. You can hear the intruder when he's close to you or when he's in another room. After waiting and listening to him skedaddle into my room and then out again, I tried to make a break for it. I didn't make it. Then we wake up as if it was a bad dream. This is the map's way of doing a checkpoint. If we get caught, we wake up at 9:30 and it all starts again. Right away, I started off by cleaning my room and looking out for the intruder. It was all going normally until I went to the phone and called the police.
King County Sheriff's Office, what's your emergency? Okay, stay calm. What's your address? We're sending an officer your way.
Then I resumed my usual routine. I went out to take out the trash, hoping if I could catch a glimpse of him again. After doing my chores, it happened again. The black truck stopped in my driveway, so I ran back to my room and hid in the closet. This time, I was sure when he's looking the other way, I'll come out of the closet and run. But as soon as I left my room, third time's the charm, I guess. This time I looked in my parents' room and noticed that there was a locked safe on the table. This got me curious, so I searched all around the house looking for a key, all the while I did my chores. I called the police in advance too. The shack around the back had a locked door too. Interesting. After my chores were done, the black truck arrived like routine. Then I had an idea. I'll hide in the room under the stairs. It's right next to the entrance, so it'll give me ample time to run away. And this is how I got the escape ending. But this wasn't over. I want to see what's in that safe in the parents' room. Again, I search all over the place, looking carefully, hoping to find the key to it. But then I realized the key was behind the safe. Anyway, opening the safe, we get our hands on a gun. Also, I have to point out my game glitched out at this point and it permanently turned on the flashlight for some reason. But this was cool. Now with the gun in hand, I can do my chores, and once the intruder shows up, I will demonstrate to him what the Second Amendment in the US Constitution means. I waited by the front door. Any second, that monster will break in through this door. But turns out, he got in through the back door! Jesus Christ! And that's the second ending. I read online that there's supposed to be a police ending too. I also wanted to see if the key behind the safe opens the shack door, but it didn't. So I have no idea what's inside there. After doing my chores, I hid inside the bathroom closet. Also, my flashlight didn't work for some reason. I guess the game was still glitched. So I waited and I waited and I waited. But the cops never showed up. I don't know if that ending is real or not, or maybe because my game was glitched, the cops never showed up. And that's that, I guess. I tried free play in the end, and it's basically just loading the map in Sandbox. You can spawn in weapons and props and stuff and fly around and whatnot, so I guess that's a nice option to have. Overall, this was a fantastic map to play. It's short, to the point, and when things get spooky, they get very spooky. Plus, there's a lot of replayability here. Every run I did on this map, I always found something new to happen with the intruder. Sometimes I saw him peeking at me from the corner of a doorway, sometimes he was outside the window, sometimes he'd ring the doorbell, and so on. Then the aesthetics of it all, the pixelated textures with the low poly models, actually increases the creepiness of the map, especially when you go outside and see the weather. Lastly, the sound design, like I mentioned, is awesome, and that too adds to the experience. Also, I just want to mention it's like funny that this is like a horror map running inside of Gary's mod, but it feels like a indie horror game that you would find on itch.io. So the effort to make it look like a proper different game, which in no way looks like it's running on the source engine, if you don't count the physics, it definitely looks like it's running on some other engine. So that was a nice touch. So yeah, give this one a shot. Link's gonna be in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and a big thanks and shout out go to these beautiful benefactors for supporting the channel. I'll see you in the next one.